Evening to you. I hope you've had an amazing weekend. Weather-wise, it hasn't been too bad. I'm meteorologist Meg Ryan with a live weather update. We've got a lot to talk about. Let's first talk about what happened today, because overall it wasn't too bad, though we did have some wet weather at the end. Waking up though, do you remember that fog? We had the same fog Saturday morning as well, and those clouds really stuck around throughout the morning, but then the sun came out. It was a nice day until the rain hit most of us. We made it all the way up to 75 degrees today. Keep in mind our average high is 63, so that's about 12 degrees above average this morning, waking up to 55. Again, well above average, but don't get used to that because we have big changes coming up for tomorrow. We did have some rain officially out at the airport, but we're still in the deficit, almost 3/4 of an inch for the month, so we could use some rain. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing any in the next 7 days. So the big story is not the rain, it's going to be temperatures. So our impact days, those are going to be Monday and Tuesday, mainly in the form of cold temperatures, but it's going to be windy. So even though the air temperatures are going to be cold, it's going to feel even colder than that thanks to the wind chill. And our biggest threat is going to be Tuesday morning with sub-freezing temperatures, which actually has caused us to have a freeze warning. So be prepared. Think about how you're going to dress. Think about how you're going to prepare your home. You want to make sure you disconnect hoses because you don't want any frozen pipes, and cover those outside plants. So when you think about our average first freeze, it's typically the end of October for our area. In fact, in Greensboro, our average first freeze is October 29th. The earliest it's ever been was October 2nd back in 1947, and the latest was December 1st back in 2009. So we're a little bit later, but that's okay. We've enjoyed these nice, mild temperatures, but we're in for a change. Freeze warning for the counties you see in purple, and that's really for Tuesday morning. Davie County still just a freeze watch, and I'm waiting for the National Weather Service in Blacksburg to issue watches and warnings for our border counties. They are under a different National Weather Service. Up in the mountains, snow is going to be a concern for them in those higher elevations, especially those westward facing slopes. So they do actually have a winter weather advisory through Tuesday morning. The cold front did come through this evening, and as it did, it popped up quickly. A line of rain, even some thunderstorms that moved through, but all that energy is out to the east. But you can start to see that northwesterly flow bringing in some of that wintry precipitation to the other side of the mountains. In terms of how much rain we got from this, we got about 1/4 inch of rain. You can see where that line of heavy rain set up just at the foot of the foothills. But we still need the rain, so what we got today is much needed as we continue to be below average with our precipitation. Right now in Greensboro it's 55 degrees, dew point about 50, and in Burlington 59 degrees, but those temperatures will definitely change by tomorrow. Take a look at our current conditions. What I love about this map is you can see the airflow, and it dips right here. Where you see that dip, that's where the cold front is. So it has moved past our area. So now we're in this northwesterly flow. That's going to bring in that much colder air. So we're starting to see a little bit of a change in temperatures where the cold front has not hit. You can see temperatures a little bit warmer than yesterday, but behind it, take a look at the mountains. They're already seeing double-digit changes in temperatures from where they were yesterday at this same time. And you can see where all this cold air is coming from. Most of the United States is seeing these much colder temperatures as the jet stream dips down. You can see that on the upper level weather pattern. What this does, the jet stream kind of locks up that cold air up to the north, and when it dips down like this, it allows that colder air to infiltrate our area and drop our temperatures, and that's what's happening here. The good news is it's not going to last very long. This is only a 2-day effect on our weather. So here's what you can plan for the next 12 hours. Skies will begin to clear, and we'll look at temperatures tomorrow morning in the upper 30s, but it's not going to warm up much for tomorrow. But here's a little reality check for you. Here's a little fun math. So today we saw a high of 75. The coldest temperatures we're going to see are Tuesday morning at 27. That's a 48-degree difference. So big changes are on the way. So the cold front has moved through. Now we have that northwesterly flow. That's going going to bring in that much colder and even drier air as well. In its place though, high pressure, that is going to dominate our weather, and that is going to keep us dry really for the next 7 days. So looking ahead to tomorrow, we're going to start off in the upper 30s, but we're only going to make it to the mid 40s. So not a big change in temperatures throughout the day, but notice all that sunshine. What you can't see on this map are wind speeds. That's going to be an issue in terms of how it feels outside. High temperatures tomorrow, low in mid 40s. Up in the foothills, they'll be in the upper 30s and even colder up in the mountains. Boone looking at a high of 26 for tomorrow. So we keep talking about what it's going to feel like thanks to that wind chill. Well, it's going to be chilly. Even though highs will be in the mid 40s, it's going to feel like it's in the upper 30s tomorrow afternoon. And then in the morning, that's going to be cold. It's going to feel like it's almost 20 degrees. So let's look at how these temperatures are going to play out over the next several days. Our average high is 73. We are well above that, 12 degrees warmer than that today. Big changes for Monday and Tuesday. If we do a little weather math, you can see it's going to be about 20-degree difference. That's a lot. And then for Wednesday and Thursday, we're back to average. So again, this is just a short-lived system, but it's going to be impactful in terms of how you plan your day, because you may not want to go outside because it's just so cold. So here's what we're looking at Monday morning, mid and upper 30s for morning temperatures. As we head into the afternoon, we're looking at those mid 40s. And then for Monday, more of those cold temperatures. Looking ahead to the mountains though, you can see they're looking at the mountain snow. That's going to be the higher elevations. And this model is trying to show some snow where we are, but don't get your hopes up. We might see some flurries, and it would be nice just to enjoy it. I'm sure the kids would love to see it. It would be a nice post for social media, but it's not going to impact travel. It's not going to accumulate on the ground. It would be very nice to look at. The air's just too dry for anything to really impact our weather in terms of snow with this system. Cold morning temperatures on Tuesday morning, and then we're only seeing highs in the 40s again for Tuesday. So this is going to be a short-lived system with the biggest impact on Tuesday morning. That's where we're going to see those sub-freezing temperatures, upper 20s for those morning lows, and up in the mountains it's only going to be in the teens. We should be about 41 for morning lows today. Of course, the mild temperatures about 14 degrees higher than where we should be. Tomorrow, a slightly below average, but then Tuesday morning, that's why we're going to see those freeze warnings coming up. Winds, that's something else we keep talking about. So right now we're looking at about 10-mile-per-hour wind speeds, but the wind gusts are really going to start to pick up tomorrow. So in the morning, 10-15-mile-per-hour wind gusts, but by the afternoon we're talking 20-25-mile-per-hour wind gusts. But with temperatures only in the mid 40s, that's why it's going to feel like it's more in the 30s, and it's going to stay breezy. And of course, up in the mountains, they're going to get hit with this as well, with wind speeds 33, 37 miles per hour for those wind gusts. We're going to keep it breezy into Tuesday as well. So this is why I keep saying, yes, air temperatures are going to be cold, but it's going to feel even colder than that because of those wind speeds. So here's what I'm talking about. Monday afternoon, 4:15, it's going to feel like it's close to freezing because of those wind speeds. And then Tuesday morning, we saw those morning temperatures upper 20s, but it's going to feel even colder than that. It's going to feel like it's 18 to 20 degrees, and up in the mountains, look at that, almost single digits in terms of what it's going to feel like. So quite a change. The mountains are going to be seeing the snow. Some impressive totals in some of the higher elevations with this system. It's going to be pretty interesting to watch, and hopefully they'll get some good snow for skiing as that season is starting to come up. So here's what you can expect tomorrow. Lots of sunshine. It is going to be cold and windy, 44 degrees. Sunrise is at 6:51 in the morning. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, cold and windy for Monday and Tuesday. Monday a high of 44. 47 on Tuesday after those freezing morning temperatures of 27. But we're back to average temperatures for Wednesday and Thursday with highs of 62, 65 on Friday, and a quick check of the weekend is looking warm and dry.